In this art tutorial, I'm going to take you from this to this. You're going to need canvas, acrylic, alcohol markers, and some oil pastels. So to begin with, we're going to take our alcohol markers. I have chosen an orange and yellow palette. As you can see, it's just like squiggles at the moment, but the glorious thing about alcohol markers, if you haven't used them yet, is that they blend so beautifully. It's almost like using watercolors, and they're just terrific to work with. There you can see I'm doing some more blending in the sky. I'm working from a darker color to a lighter color there. I'm also going to start adding some blue into the sky there, and as you can see, it just blends so nicely. Don't get too sort of caught up in the sky, because I am going to start doing like tree silhouettes over it, as you saw in the beginning of this video. So just have fun, and there you can see I'm outlining the sun and just using a bit of yellow there. And when you use these alcohol markers, it sort of spreads the whatever you've put down, whatever you put on top of it, it just spreads it sort of out of the way, and it blends it. So it's really not just like using like Koki pens. It's such a different experience. It's really, I find them so cool. Let me know in the comments below if you have already worked with alcohol markers, or if this is your first time. Okay, so going in with a bit of yellow, and yeah, now the sunset's really popping. So there I've taken like a dark orange, and I'm going in with some foliage and bushes and some trees for the background. Now we're going to do this in layers. You know, with artwork, it's always great to layer upon layer. It just really adds to the artwork. So, but also bear in mind that a lot of this you're not going to see at the end, so don't be too pedantic about what you're doing, because it's probably going to get painted over anyway. But it's, you know, something that you can work with on the underneath. And there you can see I've done all those sort of oranges. Now I'm blending with a slightly lighter orange here and some yellow. I'm adding in a lake, because we're gonna have some beautiful silhouettes of birds and reeds and trees. So we're just doing the foundational work first. Always do your background first, and then we add the foreground. So there I'm going in with a darker brown, blending. And now you can see I'm going in with quite a dark brown, even darker. It's so delicious when it all starts to part, that alcohol marker effect. And there I've done some reeds, and start going in with the tree silhouettes now. So branches, and I'm going to add foliage to that as well. There we go. And a little bit of the lighter brown on the outer edges. As you can see, it's blending very nicely. Gosh, I just love alcohol markers. Oh, it's such a pleasure to work with them. So what we're going to do is we're going to obviously do the scene with the alcohol markers, and then I'm going to go over it with acrylic, and that is going to make the colors really pop. So do stay tuned, because that's coming up. You're not going to want to miss out on that. It is so transformative to see the acrylic going over this alcohol marker backdrop. There it goes in another tree. Branches are branches, so there's no rule to doing branches. It's just like anything goes. I mean, just go outside and study trees. It's just anything goes. So don't get too hung up on doing branches. It really is up to you, basically. As you can see, your branches are taking shape. You can add as many or as few as you want. adding layers to the trees, more definition in the grassy knoll and the reeds. And now I'm putting in some little bird silhouettes. Can't forget the birds, and they're very simple to do. See, some more birds. Can't have too many birds. And branches. You can't have too many branches either, apparently. And some more layers there. And just blending it in with a lighter brown alcohol marker. And you can see this is starting to take shape. And now I'm going in with a bit more foliage on the trees. This time I'm actually using the light brown first and then the dark brown. Seems it doesn't really matter with alcohol markers because you can blend it so nicely, whether you're doing the darker first and then with the lighter outline, or the lighter one first and then the darker one in the middle. Actually, I think it works better with the darker first and then blending with the light brown. Let me know what you think. Which one worked for you? So now I am going to add the acrylic layer. So I'm taking a nice deep yellow and a lighter yellow. So I've added some red to the deep yellow, just a touch, a real touch. And as you can see, I'm smudging it in with my finger. Nothing like using your fingers. You must use anything you want. Yeah, you can use a sponge, but I like to do finger painting. It's good to get messy. So I'm blending it in. You can see the colors are really starting to make the sunset stand out. So this is why I like to go over it with acrylic. Not too thick. You want to water it down a bit because you don't want to lose obviously the detail of your painting. Now I'm going in with a bit more yellow. Make that sunset pop. And doing a little bit of yellow around the sun there and the trees shining through. Okay, and now the last thing I do, and you don't have to do this, it's totally up to you, is I put in some highlights with oil pastel, because I find it also just, you know, really makes the scenery stand out. Adding a bit of yellow oil pastel there, highlighting some of the branches around where the sun is and some of the foliage. You can see it really stands out. Just adds a little bit of je ne sais quoi to the acrylic. Okay, now I'm going to take black acrylic and just go over some of the branch work and the leaves and foliage, just to make them also stand out more, because obviously now you've put acrylic over it. Even if you've watered it down, it still has dulled down the underneath of the artwork. So you're going to want to just make that pop a little bit. Not everything, you don't have to go over everything, just a bit of the branches, the trunks, the leaves, the birds there. You can see they're standing out a little bit more. So that's what I'm doing here. The reed work. And you're going to want to have some sort of dull in the background and some that are really outstanding. And there I put in my signature and it's done. What do you think? Are you going to try this out? Let me know in the comments below. Bye!